What's up, guys? Bear Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today I think a lot of people have questions on their mind because Lucca is going to be coming out on the global servers very soon. Should you be building him? That's legitimately the biggest question. Now, I've been using him in a couple different game modes with, like, just the single-ish copy, the epic version of him, and overall, I will say this is a hero I don't think you will get much use of at a very low quantity. That's just my assumption. You never know what the big brains will come up with in here, but just by going over his skills, I feel like his kit really doesn't become super great until he gets Mythic Plus and even especially Supreme Plus. Being that he is a tank hero, he's going to be taking the most damage on the battlefield, putting himself in the most difficult situations. Granted, he does have crowd control. I just don't think he's going to hold up very well. And that's the one thing I'm really afraid of. Even in the situation where we're talking about, having the 2 buff tiles in the light bearer faction for bossing, I really don't know if he's going to be used that much, because the more I've been kind of thinking about this hero and messing around with him, yes, I will say at Mythic Plus, it does become good where he gets a shield and then also gives 5% bonus attack to allies. But you have to remember, the same exact faction with Sinbad, and Sinbad, again, if you have him at Mythic Plus, he does provide a bunch of additional damage on the enemies. We don't even use Sinbad in those situations. So as optimistic as I felt potentially looking at it, I don't know, because both these heroes are, of course, 2 of the newest light bearer heroes. We're going to be getting, it looks like, quite a few light bearers across this season. I'd imagine we're getting at least 3 more with Sonja. I've seen, like, maybe even some sort of, like, images and stuff for the innkeeper guy, which I'm guessing he'd be a light bearer. We still have the blacksmith dwarf looking dude with the hammer and everything that looks like he's coming to the game too, that we saw in the preseason preview. There's just a lot of stuff coming that I don't know necessarily if this is the right pick. However, what I will say is you can build him without any regrets, because remember, we talked about it earlier this week. We have this Season A level swap ticket that you're going to be getting next week. So even if you build him tonight and then you're like, wow, this was a huge mistake, in 3 more days, you can technically swap away from him into another potential A-level hero coming later in the season. There doesn't seem to be any other restrictions on this. It just says this item can only be used on A-level heroes released during the Waves of Intrigue season. So technically, that even covers some of the other newer heroes that we have. One of them, of course, being Sinbad. If you actually wanted to build Sinbad and you kind of regret it now, that is something you can now do if you do build him up. Besides that, though, like, other A-level heroes that we've seen is not really anything to talk about, because the only other A-level that was really good was, like Lenya, but Lenya was technically at the end of Song of Strife season. We've had both of them at A-level. The only other 2 heroes we've had have been S-level heroes. One of them being Tassie, and the other one being, do I not even have a copy? Oh, yeah, I do. Nara. So that's something to keep in mind for the future as well. If you did build Nara or anything like that, just know that you can still swap to something else. And even if at this point you realize, oh, hey, I really wish I would have, summoned on Tassie's banner and it's gone now. Technically, the way that these are worded here, it says used to swap the hero tier and the levels of exclusive equipment, hero focus, and enhanced force between 2 heroes. And again, it excludes celestial and hypogens, but technically that means if you want to build a hero down the road to max and then swap it to a Tassie, that's cool. But again, I feel like if you just really like the aesthetic of Lucca, I personally think Lucca looks really good and has potential of being very strong. If you think he's a hero you might want, go ahead and build him up as high as possible, because just remember, we have this 1 get out of jail free card in the season. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get more of these. You can see we have 1 A level and 1 S level ticket. I think this is the same chart that we have up here that we saw at the beginning of the season. Yeah, this looks like the same exact one, just in a different formation, kind of. So that does look like there's only going to be one A level and one S level. There's also extra rewards and stuff, but we'll have to see if we get access to more of these tickets in the future, because this is like your get out of jail free card. Did I build the wrong hero? Well, cool. I can then instead swap to a newer hero. Another thing, if you're a spender goes and you're like me, I build every hero, but I can't tell you how many times I've actually used Nara yet. Like on any of my accounts, I've just simply not used her yet. She might actually become meta in some way, shape, or form, but right now that just isn't really happening. And so in the future, if I have her built up to Supreme Plus and I don't have enough resources, mainly diamonds and, you know, raid up invites and all those things, if I don't have those resources to summon for that hero, I can swap to them. The only downside here is you can't like swap an S level to an A level or A level to S level. So you are going to have to be a little bit smart about it, because again, you only get one, and we're only what, a month into the season so far? No, it's been a little bit more than that. Man, I keep messing up my seasons in all the different games I've been playing lately. But it's going to be a 4-month season, which means we get a hero essentially every 2 weeks, which means we have 8 total heroes. 4 of them are going to be A levels. This is only going to be our second, which means there's still 2 more on their way. So just note, if you do build something all the way up to max and you regret it, you're not stuck with the hero. And I think that's the best thing about this. I know a lot of people were hoping that these swap tickets would let us take, you know, like older heroes, like, oh, hey, you know what? I have this Sylvina. I really don't want this Sylvina anymore. Let me swap her to the newest hero. That is, I think, what the hope was for a lot of people, but it did not end up turning out that way. So this is still better than nothing. It's still really, really good. I think that the fact that they even implemented this is nice. I really wish what they did implement in this game is a way to regress the resources on a hero. But at the same time, this season A level swap, it's pretty good because it's swapping the whole hero tier. So it's not like you're just swapping or like getting your materials back and then investing all those essence and stuff into another hero. This right here is literally giving you the copies of the new hero at the sacrifice of the current hero. So I don't know. This has a lot of potential, and I do think Lucca is going to be a strong hero. I don't necessarily think he's going to be the best hero in every situation, but he does have promise. As far as the Lightbearer faction goes, he definitely has the toolkit you kind of need, because I feel like the one thing he lacks in Legend Trial, or what Lightbearer lacks in Legend Trial, is a solid tank. Usually you're running like both Tamesia and Lucius. I feel like with just him, you could run him and maybe 1 or 2 support heroes. That's the other thing I'm really hoping we see coming up here soon, is support heroes for this faction, because this is not a true healer core right here. We need a true healer to make things happen, but at the very least, we got a new tank, and we'll have to see how he performs. Hope that you guys enjoy this one. I'm going to try to get some videos out tonight or early tomorrow morning so you guys can see a fully built Lucca and see what he can do. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.